Hello there chums, it is I, nCaptainSteve and Exo, and as you can see I'm up in my VR games review type area, and yeah, I'm going to be reviewing No Man's Sky Beyond in VR and other modes. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what I think. So if I just load up my holographic cube gadget, there we are. And Exo, if you would like to execute all the footage that I've put together to form a review, please chum. Yeah, that'd be great. Go. Execute. Okay, so this is a review of No Man's Sky in VR, and the Starfield simulation is very, very gnarly. And look at that, you can see progress bars of how much has been discovered in those areas. And as we get further and further towards the centre, you can see that the percentage is going up. Unless that's how far it is into loading, 37%, 36%. So I don't really know. I don't know whether people have discovered more towards the centre, which makes sense, or whether it's actually a loading meter. But whatever it is, it's nice to see. So as it reaches the high 90s, it usually spins into the game. Oh, we've got a bit of lag there. And here we are inside the freighter. Now what you would notice here, chums, is the ceilings are a lot higher. So I'd imagine if you've got one of these exotics with the large wings, it's not going to clip through the top of your freighters anymore, chums. And yeah, I am using the joypad rather than the move controllers. I will be swapping to the move controllers during this review and telling you about how it handles with the move controllers. Now what I love is the interior of this ship. Let's get in here. Looks really sort of new age and snazzy. It looks very sort of exotic, doesn't it? It really does. It's nice, okay? But then if I go over to one of my haulers, check this out. This is freaking awesome. Look how retro this looks. It looks like a forklift truck that you get in factories and things. It's really, really quite cool. So yeah, that's the hauler. Now I only own 3 classes of ship. I don't have a shuttle, but here's my fighter. Let's have a look at the fighter. So the attention to detail in each of the different cockpits does feel very much like a different sort of ship. And another thing, chums, if you actually stand up and look behind the chair, there is loads of sort of wiring looms and things like that, and all sorts of other gnarly stuff. Look, you can see the fans there, the fans. Well, I need to keep my head down because I'm out of the area. But isn't that something? Isn't that cool? Yeah, okay, cool. Right, there we go. Brilliant. So yeah, very, very immersive. So yeah, I think the attention to detail and what they've done with the HUDs and everything on the ships is just phenomenal. So a massive round of applause there. I was just taken aback when I got on my freighter and looked at that. It's brilliant. Really is brilliant. Okay, now chums, I've just flown out of my freighter and look at this. I'm looking around at all my frigates and it's just amazing. It really is amazing. Let's head up to the space anomaly, which a lot of people are now calling the Nexus. It's still called the Space Anomaly. Look, see Space Anomaly. So the name Nexus is coming from the missions sort of cube that's inside of the anomaly, and that is called the Nexus. So yeah, when people say anomaly, Nexus, they're pretty much on about the same thing. So yeah, terminology-wise, I mean, this is what we saw in all of the trailers pre-launch, and it is a nice little social spot. But at the moment, chums, in my options, if I go over to options here, you'll see under network and voice, I have this disabled. Now at the moment, Hello Games are pushing out patch after patch to try and fix the multiplayer. But if I had this in multiplayer, there is a high chance it's going to crash. Now quite a lot inside the Nexus isn't actually operational at the moment, and I'll show you what I mean as and when I go around the Nexus. If you need to find Polo and Nada, the quickest way to do that, chums, is to simply fly up here, straight up here into the center column, and you can find Polo and Nada just here. So yeah, a little tip. I know this is a review, but there you go. And before anybody else will talk to you inside the space anomaly, you have to speak to these 2 guys to trigger them, to sort of wake them all up. They're Nada's friends and travelers alike. Now there's this big area down here where you've got these guys by all these different terminals. They don't walk around, but they are quite cool. And each of them are specialised in different things. So he's ships, and he's like your exosuit. I like the way his tongue flicks in and out. Pretty snazzy. Easy to miss, this console. This is where you can get all your base parts from, chums, so make sure you pay that a visit. And yeah, so these guys sort of kind of replace the modules up in the space stations. So although they're new, they don't really do anything new. they have got these skill trees, which I quite like. So new players coming to No Man's Sky for the first time are going to see this. So they won't have no idea of having to get these modules unlocked through blueprints and things at the space station, because they're not there anymore. They're over here with these guys. So although there are new additions, what they do isn't actually new. So yeah, as much as I like them, because they're really creative and they're really, really cool, and I really hope that we get to have skins like this for our own characters at some stage. This guy's awesome. You wouldn't want to come across him, would you? He looks scary. Yeah, and I really do like the work that they've put into these guys, because they do look proper alien. They are so cool. It'd be nice to be able to find these guys home worlds and things, you know? Just every now and again come across an anomalous planet that might have these sort of people as inhabitants there. Just as rare oddities. I mean, I think they're just fellow travellers. In fact, they are fellow travellers, because Nada and Paolo refer to them as travellers. So they could just be customizable heads and skins. Now this place is amazing, and I really like what they've tried to do with the portal. So if you go and interface with this portal over here, you can actually look at other people's discoveries and bases and things, and it has got a features list, just like they were saying. So all this stuff is there. The only trouble is at the moment they don't really work too well, because the multiplayer crashes at the moment on PS4 so much. I haven't really managed to actually jump to somebody else's base from the menu system here. But yeah, it will be working, I hope, fingers crossed. Now there are a few of these NPC characters that I really do hope start doing more, like this little fish face guy. He just pretends to be a Gek and robs you of all your units. Just seems a little bit odd to me, but yeah, it is quite cool when you get quite close up to these guys. I mean, look at the level of detail on this. I mean, I can see all of his scales and everything. He's right in front of me right now, Chums. It looks like I could just squeeze his eyeball and pop it. It's freaking awesome. I don't know where you got those gnarly trainers, but I want gnarly trainers like you, my friend. And he even looked down at them as well. And sometimes when you do gestures to them, they also do gestures back. Now, I haven't got my move controllers in my hands at the moment, Chums, so I can't really do any gestures to him. But if I go into my menu, you'd see I am lacking a gestures option and also camera mode. So in VR, you lose two options. And you can't ride creatures, and you can't sit in chairs in VR mode either. So you lose some of the things that help you immerse into the actual gaming world, which non-VR players get. So I'm hoping in the long run we are going to get some of that other immersion factors coming into the game. So right now I'm just going to swap over to my move controllers, so I'll be right back with you. Well, hello there, Chums. I'm back in VR, and I have gloves. I have gloves. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, okay. So now you can actually hold down your move controller and move like this. Now the way I did that was go into options. Otherwise you are limited to teleporting, and you sort of have to look where you want to go and then just hold down the move controller. And yeah, I want to get into this, so I'll hold it down, pull it towards me, and I'm in the ship. Okay, right, so to take off, it's just a case of holding this and pushing forwards, waiting for a second, and away you go into yonder. Yonder! Yeah! Cool. So yeah, ha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, go through! Ha! Hadouken! Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, okay, so I'm out in space, as you can see. Now, this flight stick is extremely sensitive, so I've turned the sensitivity right down to get used to it. And usually I have to invert my controls as well. But anyway, let's go down to a planet. Let's go down to this one here. Looks like I've got a base here. It won't be a good base. It'll be a pretty terrible base, but here we go. Go, go, go. And go. So you have to hold down both move controls to sort of thrust. Pull up a bit. Whoops. Whoops. Right, it's not inverted yet. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh. I'm still getting used to the controls. It is quite fiddly. And I'm doing a lot of... yeah. I've got my tongue out right now, Chums, basically. Right, okay. Now, I can't remember what button it is to freaking land. Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you either, does it? X. X, 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 X. I'm pressing X. Okay. Alright, well, let's rotate round. You see what I mean? I mean, I've got so used to the controls on... I'm using the right stick and I'm pressing X. Wrong way. And it's not landing. It really isn't. Okay, I'm pressing X. There we are. I've landed. Now that took all my concentration and all my dexterity. You can let go of that now, thank you very much. Cool, right, and you use this little latch to sort of get out the ship, which is actually quite cool. Now, using the move controllers is actually awesome. I mean, yeah, you can scan things using your visor there. It's pretty damn sweet. I do like it, it is quite nice. I don't know why it keeps getting the multi-tool out. Okay, brilliant. Righty-ho. Yes, so rotatey, rotatey, rotatey. As you can see, this has taken a lot of my concentration. Die, you die! Ching, ching, ching! You can't actually kill the NPCs. And yeah, you can't actually sit in the chairs while you're in VR either. Which normally you get a button, you can press square and you can sit in these chairs if you're not in VR. But yeah, so on the right hand stick, you have to press circle to rotate that way, or X to rotate this way. But on the other hand, those buttons don't do anything. I think it would be nice to be able to rotate left with this one. Like X on this one, circle on this one. That'll make more sense to me. I keep doing it and you're wondering why things aren't working. But it's just my own stupidity. Yeah, dance, dance, you dance, dance, ha ha! Now, the other day, when I was mining stuff, there was just black boxes that were appearing every time I mined things. Like that. Yeah, they still haven't fixed that. And this is now what? We're on patch 5? So there's a few little things in here that are still buggy. Where are you going? Yeah, so, yes, I'm doing a review. You stop being distracted. Right, so, yeah, so there's a few bugs. There's a few issues. And something else that I've noticed, Chums, is... Yeah, which one's my rocket pack? Oh, yes, triangle. Here we go. Now, as you're walking around, things just sort of pop right in as you get to them on VR. I mean, yeah, and the textures, the bump mapping seems to be extremely flat. When you're out of VR, the graphics seem a lot higher resolution. See down here, you see these rocks? They're just sort of appearing as and when I'm about to tread on the dang things. It's even worse when you get to grassy areas. The pop is extremely noticeable. See that? There you go. So, yeah, things just sort of appear as and when you get to them. And here you go, they're going to pop in now, see? Yeah, I was pretty much on top of that when it popped in. And sometimes with the hazardous flora, it can be a bit of an issue. I mean, yeah, it's a sacrifice, I guess, with being in VR. I mean, this is just amazing. But wouldn't it be cool to have a VR camera? If you select camera mode and it comes up with a VR camera, that'd be so cool. And you can sort of like adjust the focus, things like that. I mean, I'm loving all this. This is cool, but it's... You have to be quite good at what you're doing. Don't take your hand away. You have to keep it open like this. AI mode. I don't even know what AI mode is. And you see there, it's gone red, and I'm trying to press it. I'm actually pressing the trigger right now, and nothing is... It hasn't actually signaled that it's done something. So I don't know whether I have done anything there. I've got like mode select here, scan. Now scan, normally you just press your hat stand in. So it takes a little bit longer to do simple things. But yeah, I'm really liking these sort of graphical boards that you can move around. Oh, and Chums, the actual discoveries page is freaking awesome. So if I go over to discoveries over here, when you discover a creature, which I haven't actually discovered a creature yet, I haven't scanned one, but it looks so cool. It brings them up and it tells you all about them and everything. It's great. So yeah, I am liking a lot about this. Oh, go away, menu. Get out of there. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, there's things I love, there's things I'm not so keen on. I mean, look at the night sky. I just find myself looking around in awe. But then you look over there, and look, it's just a flat texture. Everything goes blurry just outside of the eye line. It's like all them trees. They look really, really flat. These ones look okay, because I'm looking that way. But then if I look to the left, immersion is broken. So, although they've done a lot to optimize this, which I get, because it's VR, it's rendering the screen twice, so I'm guessing they've dropped it by half or something, but it does break some of the immersion for me. I mean, it's still freaking awesome. It's still the best VR experience I've ever had, Chums. So yeah, I don't want to downplay this for anything. Oh god, there's a tree there. I mean, if you play for games like Spider-Man and stuff like that, and things like, they're almost like tech demos. They're not even games. How dare they call themselves games when there's this, which is a full game in frickin' VR, albeit just a couple of little cosmetic features like not being able to sit down and stuff. But you get all ride creatures, which is a big shame because I think it would be awesome to ride a creature in VR. Yet some of them have got big mangly heads. You wouldn't be able to see where you're going in VR, would you? So I kind of understand why they've done it, but at the same time, it's a new feature that you can't do in VR. So you've got to choose: do you want to ride creatures, or do you want to be in VR? Yeah. So there's that. Okay. Well, hello there, chums. I am out of VR mode now, and as you can see, the textures and bump mapping look a lot better, or they would if I was actually in daylight. So here we go. There you go, in daylight. Now, something that we saw in the actual trailers, if I go close to the wall, see what I mean? Bump mapping's a bit better. But yeah, something we noticed in the trailers is the worlds were a lot more brighter and vibrant. But yet, a lot of the planets that I'm coming across, I'm still coming across the sort of diluted colours in the grass. I mean, I haven't come across anything as bright, but you do get bright areas like the beaches, and I'm noticing more patches and variants in the grass colours. So a planet like this with this sort of darkish greeny, bluey colour will have brighter patches of bluey, greeny colour as well. Now, some of the actual models too, I've noticed that they've put different sorts of scale in to make it look a little bit more realistic. It's like this little plant here is echoed there and there and there, but each of them are different plant sizes. And it really does add to the variety and makes things feel more alive rather than consistent and rubber stamped. I mean, yes, I am seeing some of these sort of stone structures that don't really follow play to that. I mean, they've all got the starfishes in exactly the same places. But yeah, there's a bit of variety in sort of the models now, the wireframes. Not much, just a little, but it all adds to the immersion. Okay, right, so, oh yes, let's go to the discoveries page. So, I have got creatures scanned on this planet. I think it's this one. Yep, so there we go. You can bring up this, and you can read all about them. And it's really cool. It actually feels fitting. And then if you do feel like you've seen a creature before, you just bring up your discoveries page and no, it's got completely different writing, and you'll find that the creatures have lovely markings. I mean, before these were the size of a postage stamp, so it's hard to tell that the creatures had any sort of difference from one planet to the other. But they do indeed. It's a shame you can't use your R stick to actually rotate them around, you know, and have a better look at them and spin them and things. But other than that, it's freaking awesome. I really, really like it. The discoveries page is actually meaningful now. I do like going in there and actually having a quick read. It's really quite cool. So yeah, there's a lot that they're doing quite well, and I really do like. So yeah, thumbs up to them. Thumbs up to them. Yeah. Whoa, what the devil just happened then? I'm gonna try it again. Didn't happen again. But so there are little mini bugs that happen every now and again. It's like X is now my backpack, or it always has been, but sometimes, look at that, if I press it quick enough, it might trigger again. Let's see if we can get it to do it again. There you go. Well, that's new. Okay, well that's a funny little bug. But yeah, you find this with every single release that Hello Games does that's quite large, that you get these strange little quirks and bugs. Some of them are actually quite comical and funny. I mean, it's like the melee strafe jump. That used to be a sort of bug, but now it's an actual thing that they've implemented as an enhancement to your jetpack. So, oh, look at that. That would be amazing in VR. And I am finding that I am still drawn of breath every now and again, even in non-VR. I mean, look, now the grass is all coming into effect. It is a blue, but it's not as a cartoony blue, if you know what I mean. It's a powdery blue, which we were seeing before Beyond came out. These are sort of still Next and Vision-y type colours. And I haven't come across biomes that I would say are much more varied than what I was seeing pre-Beyond, but then I haven't landed on a great deal of planets. I've probably gone to maybe a dozen or so, and from what I'm seeing, the biomes are very similar to how they've always been. But yeah, different size models, and that's probably about it, really. So exploration-wise, I don't feel they've really done too much to entice me to adventure more. I mean, yes, in VR I am, because everything's been rescaled. The creatures look huge, the ships are perfect in size now, so there's a lot of different things there that make you feel a lot more immersed in the game. And yes, in VR I will want to go to every single biome type, especially the exotic ones and things, and see them all in VR. But after I've gone to each biome once or twice, you know, it's kind of a little bit done. I really do hope that they implement some sort of Rayrod-ish type mod to up the variety and the variance on planets, because at the moment it's the same stuff that I'm seeing, but just in a different perspective. And yes, and while I like the VR, and I love the fact that I've added multiplayer online, the multiplayer online right now is somewhat broken. So I haven't even done a group mission, because every time I tried, it crashed on me. You know, we'll be halfway through a mission, and boom, it kicks us all out. But it was nice. I like it how it brings players together, and brings the world together to play. I mean, it does work to a fashion. It just works to a point, and then goes, nope, I give up, I'm going to crash, and then crashes. Or at least that's my experience so far, Chums, on PlayStation VR. I'd imagine it's going to be a lot more stable on PC or some sort of setups. I mean, I know some people have had no problems whatsoever, but yeah, I've had a lot of problems, Chums, a lot, and I've been sending them to the Zendesk, and all credit to Hello Games, they are putting in patches, and they are going in at quite a steady pace. But it's just simple things, you know, like when I was mining in VR earlier, you know, it doesn't do it in this mode. It's fine. If I can get my mining beam, there you go. Look, no big square blocks for me in this. So it's just little things, and it breaks the immersion at the moment in VR. So I haven't played in VR all that much, and I haven't played all that much in MMO with other people, just because there seems to be a fair few quirky bugs that just need to be ironed out. And when I do play in VR, I'm playing with the D-pad more than the move controllers, mainly because flying with the move controllers is really quite difficult for me at the moment. I need a lot more practice, which I will do as soon as they iron out some of the immersion sort of issues, like those big square blocks and things. I know it's only small, but for me it's quite a big thing, especially when you're doing ship combat, air-to-air combat, and it comes up with the big black blocks. So yeah, so right now, if I had to rate this game, I would say my first impressions of it are it's amazing. It's far beyond what it was when it was next. I didn't even mean to use those words. But yeah, that worked quite nice. So yeah, it's far beyond what it was in next, and it's come a long, long way in my opinion. And my first impressions of it is freaking amazing. And there's a lot of potential here to add on to it. It's like a lot of the merchants up in the actual Nexus aren't really active. Yes, the cook's active. If you take him some ingredients, he will talk to you. The other guys, though, are damn right rude. Just tell you to come back the next day, or that they're tired, or something like that. And there's some really interesting characters up there, and I can't wait to hear their backstory, and I would love to see what Hello Games has got in store when it comes to Quicksilver events or community events. That's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I'm holding out for. I mean, at the moment, you see my base over there, it's not fully rendered. There's a load of parts that aren't rendering, and funny enough, it's just the pipes. Now, the pipes, I wouldn't think have got that much complexity to them. There you go, now they've all appeared. So that's a giant spider that I made. But you would have thought that it would be something like the glass that doesn't pop in, because that's the thing that takes up all the reflections and the shadows and things. You'd think that would be the last thing that appears, not the pipes. Bit strange. I don't know whether they've got the balance wrong or something, or whether I'm just, you know, overcomplicating things inside my head, but I'm trying to think logically, and it just doesn't work logically to render in the pipes. Anyway, I'm rambling, so yeah, my first impressions are extremely good, Chums. But yeah, I'll hand over to Exo and let him give you an actual score, because I know some of you like numbers. Alright, over to Exo. Go, Exo, all over to you, buddy.
It's only fair to rate Beyond on the two merits that it was supposed to bring to the game. Those being VR, a multiplayer and online mode. The multiplayer online mode is slightly broken and tends to crash far too often, and VR, the draw distance, is pretty poor. However, the exploration and the immersion is brilliant, despite a fair few bugs, like those big black blocks. So based on that, I am scoring No Man's Sky Beyond 88 out of 100. Previously, I rated this at 83%, so there is an improvement. Just not a vast one.
Okay, right, well let's save that into the expanding cube gadget. Now I'd imagine that there's a couple of you out there that are saying, well, Captain Steve, there will be patches. Oh yes, yeah, no, I know that, but I'm reviewing it as it currently stands right now. So yeah, I mean, it's like we haven't had community events yet, and that's going to really tie everything together, and the Quicksilver. Hopefully that's coming soon. But that's hopefully, I mean, it's not here. So if it's not here, I can't review it. So I will be doing another review. Just hang tight, because I'm sure that there's more on the horizon. It won't be left as it is. But yeah, so that's my review, and I hope you enjoyed it. Any sort of things you want to add in the comments below, please do. And yeah, you guys out there have been awesome. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now. thank you very much to all my Patreon and PayPal supporters. Thank you very much there, chums. And if you want to become a Patreon supporter, hop on over to Patreon. There's something there for pretty much everyone. And yes, I am hoping to get a 3D printer that's capable of printing decently detailed ship models, which I'm hoping to send to each of my Patreon and PayPal supporters that back me on a regular basis. And yeah, hopefully send those out maybe once or twice a year, depending on where in the world you are located. And yeah, my aim is about $400, so I'm a little bit shy of that, but please continue to support me. And this song that you're hearing right now is by Nerve. Go check him out. And here is my own website. And on my website you can find loads of merch, and you can also find Android watch faces, which I'm doing for free, and wallpapers and all sorts of other gnarly stuff. So go and hop on over there. And here's some links to some of my other content. And yes, if you're not already subscribed to my new channel, please do so. Yeah, okay, well, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye now. Cheerio.